So, if any of you ever wondered, hey, what would it be like if, Aladdin was a love story between the genie and Aladdin was the girl, and, the entire movie was just insane? That's this movie. 3,000 Years of Longing is directed by George Miller, stars Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. And in this movie, a woman who is now divorced and is a writer, and she does things for a living which are kind of seclusive, and she just lives on her own, finds a token that she wants to take home. It's something that she found while she's out in Istanbul, but when she opens it, by mistake, she releases a genie. This genie says he can grant her 3 wishes, and a bunch of insanity ensues. Whatever you thought this movie was about going into it or watching the trailers, it's not about that. Believe me. This movie is completely not what you thought it was. This movie is the most insane, weird, confusing, convoluted, intelligent, psychedelically strange movie I have seen in a long time. And I kind of like that. At the same time, I kind of don't. This movie rides that line for me where there's a lot of stuff that's done really well and a lot of stuff that's just not quite working for me. The best way I could describe this movie to you would be as if you just had a very vivid and very imaginative dream, and then you woke up and thought about it. That's kind of how I feel after watching this movie. Like, a whole bunch of stuff happened, and I'm trying to figure out what was what, because this movie is something where you have to see it more than once. That's one of the reasons it took me so long to put out this review, is I had to see this movie twice in order to fully understand and fully grasp it, and even then, there's still parts of this movie I don't fully understand. It's just very, very detailed and just has a lot to it. So it's not something that you can necessarily digest in the first viewing, and you have to pay a lot of attention to what's being said in this movie because it's insane. I mean, George Miller, this man has no limits. This movie, though, is like his one where he's gone all out. This is pure just everything's thrown at the wall. Everything's in your face. A lot of strange stuff's happening. Sometimes you don't know what's real, what's fantasy. I don't really want to spoil this movie. I think you should watch it yourself. I think it's definitely worth that. But it is still just such a weird film. And there's sort of a charm to it. I love the way this film feels. It's pretty cool, actually. And it's got some great concepts, some great meanings in it, and some really good messages along the way. And the performances are all really good. Tilda Swinton is very good in this movie. She offers an excellent performance, which is very classic the way she plays it. And it's also very damaged. She does a very good performance. Idris Elba is also really good. This is his second really big film in like 2 weeks. He just did his other movie, Beast. So he's kind of on a bit of a roll now. I think he's probably having a pretty good year for himself so far. And it's a very good performance as well. But the main thing I want to talk about this movie is just the look of it and the writing and the direction. This is something that only someone with a very clear vision could make. And I'm glad it got made. Despite the fact that this movie is all over the place and there's a lot of plot holes and confusion and things I don't think are fully thought out, this movie is really interesting to watch and it's a fun time, and it was escapism for me. I got totally sucked into the movie and I enjoyed most of my time with it. I have a few complaints with this movie, which are the story isn't necessarily the best. I think a lot of things could have been communicated better, and not everything in it is as clear as it should be. And though, yes, some of it should be ambiguous, it sometimes goes a little too far where things just cease to make any sense at all. So, I think this movie is worth a watch. It's something that's just very different. I like that a movie like this got made. It's just refreshing to see. Everything about it's nice. This movie has a lot behind it. You can see the production, and it was amazing to watch. I think it's something you should go check out, and I'm going to recommend it. With that said, I'm going to give 3,000 Years of Longing a 7 out of 10. So thank you guys as always so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.